You moved out. You changed cities. You blocked the numbers. You cut the conversations. But why does it still feel like they're holding something? Why does guilt still rise in your chest? Why does fear still pull at your spine when you start living differently? Because leaving physically is not the same as leaving energetically. You can walk away from the house, but still carry the house inside you. Every expectation, every invisible loyalty, every unspoken contract still pulsing inside your system. You think you're free, but part of you still reports back, still checks in silently, still asks, am I allowed to live this fully? Am I allowed to choose this path? And that checking, that hesitation, that tension, it's not a thought, it's not a feeling, it's a chain, an energetic chain, one you didn't create, but still carry. This video is about that chain, the loyalty you never agreed to, but were programmed to uphold, and how to finally cut it. Not out of rage, not out of rebellion, but out of sovereign, silent liberation. Energetic severance initiated. Part 1. What is energetic loyalty? Voice-over optimized, cold, deep, energetic liberation. Energetic loyalty isn't about love. It isn't about gratitude. It isn't about respect. It's about unseen chains, built from emotional contracts. You were never aware you signed. It's the invisible pressure that says, don't rise too far. Don't break the pattern. Don't leave them behind. It's the guilt you feel when you succeed, the hesitation before you take a bigger step, the silent fear. That freedom means you betrayed someone. Energetic loyalty isn't stored in your mind. It's stored in your emotional body, in your reflexes, in your nervous system. It's the gravitational pull. Back to old roles, old rhythms, old expectations. Even when your conscious mind knows they don't fit you anymore, it's not about proximity. You can move 1,000 miles away and still feel it. It's not about conversation. You can go no contact for years and still carry it, because energetic loyalty isn't about physical presence. It's about energetic submission. A part of you still bows to a system you consciously rejected, and until you see it, you can't cut it. You'll just keep orbiting it without knowing why. Energetic loyalty is the last chain, the hardest to see, the hardest to admit, the hardest to break. But once you do, you don't just leave the system, you dissolve it inside you. Part 2. How it's installed into you. No one needed to chain you. No one needed to demand it. They just needed to make you associate love with loyalty, and loyalty with staying small. They built it silently, through glances, through sighs, through moments of withdrawal, when you were too different, too distant, too much. You learned fast. Stay close, stay familiar, stay predictable, or lose connection. It wasn't an explicit rule. It was an emotional contract, unspoken, undeniable. Every time you tried to step out, pursue more, speak louder, choose differently, you felt it, the energetic pull back. Not through words, through weight, the weight of knowing. You were about to disappoint them. They didn't have to say, stay loyal. They just had to reward your compliance and subtly punish your expansion. Every unspoken message, don't forget where you come from. Don't think you're better than us. Don't abandon the people who sacrificed for you, conditioned you, not to love yourself fully, but to stay emotionally available to the system you were supposed to outgrow. You became afraid of surpassing them, of surpassing the narrative, of surpassing the emotional agreements that kept everyone in place. Because expansion meant abandonment, not by you, but by their definition, and you internalized that. If I grow too much, I betray where I came from. That's how energetic loyalty gets installed, not through visible chains, but through invisible grief, invisible guilt, invisible survival instincts. You didn't just inherit a family. You inherited their unfinished contracts, and somewhere inside, you started signing them without even knowing. Part 3. Symptoms that you're still energetically loyal. You think you're free. But watch closer. Your body, your choices, your reactions still whisper a different story, because energetic loyalty doesn't need permission to operate. It just needs one unbroken emotional contract. And here's how you know it's still active. You feel guilty when you succeed. Not proud, not grateful. Guilty. You wonder if you're abandoning them, if you're making them look small, if you're betraying their struggle. You sabotage your momentum, not because you're afraid of failure, but because you're afraid of surpassing the system. You hesitate to fully embody your new self. You have the clarity, you have the calling, you have the tools, but part of you still plays small. You dilute your voice, you downplay your truth, you self-edit, not for survival, but for loyalty to a system that didn't know how to hold the full version of you. You feel an invisible pull to check back. You physically leave, but emotionally, you orbit. You wonder, are they okay? Do they still approve? Should I explain why I changed? You seek permission, long after you stopped needing it, because energetic loyalty keeps you reporting to a headquarters you were meant to outgrow. You struggle with choosing freedom without explanation. You owe no one your healing, no one your growth, but the moment you move forward, without narrating it, without softening it, without apologizing for it, you feel disloyal, ungrateful, cold. That's not conscience, that's conditioning. The system trained you to equate silence with betrayal. These aren't just emotional struggles. They're energetic evidence, proof that somewhere inside, a part of you still kneels to a structure you already walked away from physically, but never fully, energetically. And until you break that loyalty, you're still theirs. Even if they never call, even if they never ask, even if they're no longer watching. Part 4. Why it's dangerous to stay energetically loyal. Energetic loyalty doesn't just slow you down. It splits you. It fractures your energy, divides your allegiance, keeps you half present in a life you were meant to fully claim. You build a new reality, but part of you is still wired to serve the old one. You step forward, but you keep checking over your shoulder. You create freedom, but you still move like you owe permission to a system that stopped nurturing you long ago. Energetic loyalty creates leaks. Leaks in your decision-making, leaks in your creative flow, leaks in your emotional sovereignty, because a divided spirit can't channel full power. Every time you hold back out of unspoken guilt, you split your energy. Every time you hesitate out of unconscious loyalty, you dilute your manifestation force. Every time you defer to a system you outgrew. You unconsciously anchor yourself to timelines that no longer belong to you. It's not about love. You can love without loyalty to dysfunction. You can honor origins without being imprisoned by them. But as long as energetic loyalty remains, your movements will feel heavy. Your wins will feel hollow. Your path will feel partial, because you're not moving with all of you. Part of you is still waiting for permission from people who needed you to stay small. Staying energetically loyal doesn't protect them. It paralyzes you. It doesn't honor the past. It betrays the future. And the price isn't just time, it's who you could have become if all of your energy was finally facing forward. Part 5. How to break energetic loyalty without guilt. You don't break energetic loyalty by explaining, by negotiating, by apologizing. You break it by exiting energetically with full certainty. Here's how. Step 1. Name the invisible contracts. Bring them to light. Every silent agreement, every emotional deal you inherited, write them down. I must not surpass them. I must always be available. I must not live too differently. Make the unseen seen, because what you can name, you can dismantle. Step 2. Declare the exit. Say it out loud, even if it's just to yourself. I revoke all loyalty that no longer aligns with my truth. I return all borrowed energy. I retrieve all scattered parts. You don't need their permission. You don't need their blessing. Your soul is the authority. Step 3. Cut through action, not emotion. Don't announce your separation. Don't dramatize the shift. Move differently. Choose differently. Prioritize differently. Without asking, without apologizing, because energetic cords are reinforced through repeated emotional compliance. Breaking them requires behavioral rebellion, silent, sharp, uncompromising. Step 4. End emotional reporting. Stop checking back energetically. Stop wondering if they're okay. Stop waiting for their approval. Stop adjusting your success to make it digestible for them. Move fully into your lane, without broadcasting, without seeking acknowledgement. You're not betraying them. You're reclaiming you. Step 5. Anchor new loyalty to yourself. Every time you hesitate, choose yourself. Every time guilt rises, choose yourself. Every time the old pull tugs, choose yourself. Until your nervous system learns, my first loyalty is to my own expansion, not to their comfort. You don't cut cords with anger. You cut them with sovereign silent certainty, not because you hate the system, but because you refuse to be defined by it anymore. Part 6. You don't owe loyalty to systems that needed you small. You don't owe loyalty to the places that only loved you when you were easy to manage. You don't owe loyalty to the people who celebrated your obedience, not your becoming. You don't owe loyalty to the systems that demanded your silence as proof of your love. Real loyalty is earned through respect, not guilt, not fear, not invisible chains. And if a system needed you to shrink, to soften, to submit, to feel safe, it never deserved your loyalty. In the first place, you weren't born to orbit broken legacies. You weren't designed to carry the weight of generations on your back. You weren't meant to edit your existence, to make others feel less uncomfortable about their own stagnation. You were born to complete your becoming, fully, boldly, without apology, not to rebel, not to reject, but to transcend. And if that transcendence feels like betrayal to them, that's not your burden to carry. That's their unfinished healing to face. From this point forward, you bow to no one's comfort. You submit to no one's expectation. You orbit no one's unfinished story. You walk fully, freely, finally, because the real betrayal isn't leaving them behind. It's leaving yourself behind to keep them comfortable. And that ends now. CTA. For the next 72 hours, move without asking, choose without explaining, rise without shrinking. Cut the cords, reclaim the energy. Walk your path, alone if necessary, because loyalty to smallness was never your destiny. Be sovereign, be whole, be free. Energetic loyalty severed.